Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 17th of October. So let's firstly look at the possible risk events this morning. If I switch across onto here and Tuesday. So we've already seen the Aussie data out there this morning. Also, actually, let's just refresh this, bring it up to date. There we go. So average earnings dropping fractionally in the UK there. That'll be a bit of a relief to the central bank, but not so much to people probably, as inflation is holding its own. But it is coming off slightly. It takes a bit of pressure off of the central bank. What we got left then, we've got the economic sentiment for the euro at 10 o'clock. Often when I say this doesn't really do anything, it then goes and does something, so just be aware that it's there as much as anything else. Aside of that, we've got the Canadian inflation data coming out later. That will be watched closely, and the US retail sales, again, very important numbers. So 130 might give us some volatility, some larger volatility. Industrial production at 215, not so much. We've got Reserve Bank of Australia speaking at 11:35 in the evening, so it's not going to involve our normal trading day. Let's just look at other speakers this morning. We've got Bank of England speaker. Well, the chappie yesterday managed to sing the praises of the pound and push it up somewhat. ECB's speaker and an Fed speaker at this may be the finance economic meetings, which I believe are starting. Actually, I saw them somewhere, but have I missed it on here? It's not. Maybe it's tomorrow, but I saw it somewhere. They're starting, so just beware. There's a number of speakers there anyway. A whole stack of them this afternoon, so mostly after 3 o'clock. Right, okay, let's crack on and look at these markets. Starting off the euro dollar. Euro continues into the larger picture to the downside. Yesterday was a bit of an update, though, as you may have worked out. A very choppy update when you look at the detail within the main trading period, for me at least. It was largely just chopping, not really showing its hand. It's breaking down at the moment. It becomes a bit untrustworthy. I think maybe if it starts breaking through after that 50 MA, breaking through that 50 MA, we could be on for more downside. Obviously, looking at this, I'm really looking back towards these lows if it rolls over. So that's the possibility. Of course, it may break beyond those lows, but be nice just to see it head off south first thing. Okay, that's the euro, so has some potential. The pound looking softer without that data. Same sort of picture as the euro, though. There's not a great deal of difference here. In fact, I've just checked that it is the pound that I'm looking at, and there we go. So again, another one that maybe I would hold fire on these, not trade them up until probably about 8:15 if I'm going to take them, because we get a bit of a fake, and we could get that fake movement early. So just beware when you see this. The temptation is to want to sell it almost as soon as it blips into the next bar. But beware. And also the other thing is, it's currently putting higher lows in. You get very much the view to the downside here, but it could yet still turn around, put a higher low in this bigger picture, or intermediate time picture, and continue what it was doing for most of last week. And the previous week there it started off doing. But it is looking soft at the moment. My preference is to be trading it on the short side. I'm looking at it from a weekly basis and thinking, well, that S1 doesn't look bad at all. So that's what I'm really like. Almost broke into a Spice Girls song for a moment, but I won't. Anyway, looking at the picture back here on the dollar yen, just on looking on the 4 hourly, you see how choppy it is. Probably best left alone. Aussie dollar, it's come right out here. Managed to hold on through the Asian session there, looking as one of the stronger pairings. Just slowing down where it's sitting at the moment. It's run into its R1. If these markets do get a bit more whiz to the upside, the R2 could be on, but it's well, and much more. I say much more and more. A break of that 50 MA would open up to the sort of ranges that it was sitting in previously, maybe up to the sort of 64, 28, 30 area, maybe more on that one. It is a little bit more favoured than it had been, US dollar, in terms of the sentiment on it. US dollar CAD, well, sentiment on this is choppy as well. It really is. I mean, we saw it sitting there last week, most of the week, just chopping along. It looks, every time it looks like it's got some scope to continue in this downside. Well, I think that's the way I would prefer to be trading it, and to do so, I'd need to wait and see it break these lows. Of course, these two sort of dojis or hammers, they're very iffy at this stage. A break of the highs there might sort of suggest further upside, but it's just going to run straight into resistance. So the route of least resistance, or no resistance at all, is to the downside effectively. New Zealand dollar chopping along, following the Aussie to an extent, but nowhere near to the same strength. US dollar Swissy, yesterday did continue off. This morning it's finding a bit of a bounce, just like everything else at the moment. It's really to see whether these retracements roll over, and maybe if it does get back beyond the pivot there, below 0.90, in which case, or 0.908 or something like that, in which case it's got a scope to run back southbound. Bigger picture on this, you've got to watch out here. It has double bottomed. It doesn't stop it rolling over, of course, but it has double bottomed. Euro yen remains in this horrible chop zone here. I'm just looking at this from a 4 hourly picture here, and it's neither halfway. Well, it's halfway up and it's halfway down. There we go. Euro pound, again, euro just catching the upside here on the basis of that softer data coming out on the jobs report, but that could soon switch backwards. But for now, looks like the euro's got it a bit more, even though they're both selling off quite quickly leading into 8 o'clock. Some of these other pairs, Euro Aussie, starting to roll back now a little bit, but it has put the higher lows in, as you can see off the daily picture here. Looks like it wants to continue to the downside. Certainly looks like there's a scope for that. Again, it's a case of just being patient here, waiting. To be fair, it's already had a decent move today relative to its normal sort of ranges of days, so I would tread carefully, maybe more of a swing than a day trade. Other usual suspects I look at here, the Euro CAD, that's coming off at the moment. It's just seeing these Euro and the European currencies sell. Again here, a break of the lows here, maybe much more of a swing that's sort of potentially setting up there. It has been sitting in it for a long time. This is 4 hourly picture. You see last week it went completely the other way there. It's rolled over on Friday. Maybe now's the time it's going to run down there. Possible, as I said, it's possibly a swing setting on that. The pound CAD, not too dissimilar really. It's gone. It's certainly going, but it looks like that was the reaction that we're going to see. you just got to, with this it looks like it's probably best with a wide stop there, a wide-ish stop, and maybe more of a swing trade. So more swingy this morning in summary. Quick look at the other markets then. We'll just look at gold first. And well, gold yesterday consolidating, today off a tad. The big money's quite bearish on gold at the moment, but the figures that were taken last Tuesday, and it's possibly early days in terms of what the markets are doing. They're very unsettled at the moment, and well, I think gold remains reasonably solid where it's sitting here. A bit of consolidation around these levels. Yes, it could break down, but it could equally just hang in there and be seen as the safety net. Oil did come off yesterday. It's trying its way down there at the moment, finding a bit of support into the weekly pivot now. Maybe that will just hold it, but it's not looking the best as we review the market at the moment. Maybe if it breaks back above its daily pivot, it'll be a bit more bullish. It's not really. It's sort of just run out of momentum where it sits here. It's quite ugly. I talked yesterday about the sort of Gartley sort of pattern that's sort of sitting there, the ABC, or alternatively. It just looks a bit iffy. Okay, other markets, S&Ps. Quick look here. I'm just looking at these on a daily basis. Yesterday, solid up day, but already just coming off a little bit this morning, as is the Dow. Yeah, these US markets could yet see a little bit more of a tumble. As I've said before, though, if you're looking at the long side, the Nasdaq might be the easier money if it does start running properly. Okay, DAX traders looking at this morning. Well, yesterday ended up a bounce in the end. It did show some decent sell-offs. We finally get back to this weekly pivot. It'll be interesting to see what it does here. If it starts breaking down, well, for me, the way it's all sort of staged at the moment, it looks like that could be the signal for the downside. A break of the upside of this, well, I'd stand clear of it. The FTSE. Get the FTSE on, looking at the daily first. Yesterday again, this is a positive day as we saw, but quite a choppy picture through the 4 hours here, and the hours I would just stand clear. It has broken the top of that descending channel that it was in, but it's quite ugly in what it's doing. Just look at what the price action's doing on an hourly basis here, and it's a mess. Okay, that's it for me today. I wish you a great day's trading, and I'll catch you later. So mostly just in summary, just looking at the potential downside and likes the euro, etc. We'll see how it develops. So just give it a while this morning to shape itself up and see where it's going. Just trying to sell it. See, just seeing a bit of volatility immediately on this bar, but just be wary. We get some quick change rounds just as quick as you just see them just sell off. So a bit of patience and maybe joining the short side. Bye for now. Okay, that's that job.